What's up and welcome back to another video. Guys, today I'm going to be answering some of your questions. As always, if you have any questions that you'd like me to answer in the next installment of this series, let me know down below in the comment section of this video, and I'll try my best to get to them in the next episode. But without further ado, let's get right on into this video. Our first question for today comes from Sirimal, and they say that they have got the rare variant of Qui-Gon Jinn. Should they keep it or should they sell it? Now, at the end of the day, this is 100% up to you, but if I were in your shoes, personally, I would sell it. I think it's going for so much money right now. Yes, it's been dropping, and that brings me to my main point that if you want to sell it, then you should sell it now. You shouldn't wait any longer because it's only going to drop in price. It was kind of hyped up a ton, and people thought it was a lot more rare than it actually was, but now they're seeing how many there are out in the market, and it's just going further and further down in price. So I think now would be your best time before it drops any more, because you could sell it and then you could just, it covers the cost of the set, and then you could also buy your another version of Qui-Gon, the normal version of Qui-Gon, the less rare one, and then, it's basically like, it is what it is. You just got the set for free, basically. So I think it's kind of a no-brainer, but if you're a completionist and you're going to want it in the future anyway, then I say just hold on to it. But at the end of the day, it's 100% up to you. Max says that we need a new Headhunter really badly, and I 100% agree with you. I actually have my Headhunter back here. I think it is just such a good build. I don't know what it is. I think the design was so well done, and even this one, there's not much that I would change about this if LEGO was to release a new one. I mean, obviously LEGO would downsize it given what they are known for, especially right now, but I do think the Headhunter is just such a good designed ship, and I think this set kind of aged insanely well, especially because the minifigure selection with that Phase 2 pilot and General Krell, just a great ship, and I think the design is just overall really good, and I would love to see LEGO make a new Headhunter. Now, I don't know if that's something that is going to be something that they're looking to do. I know we had that kind of fake rumor, I think, was it 2 years ago now or last year, where we thought that we were going to be getting that Headhunter, and then it turned out that that rumor was incorrect. But overall, I do think that it's possible for us to see it. I think if LEGO, especially if LEGO is making sets like the V19 Torrent, then I think that the Z-95 Headhunter, it's only a matter of time before we see it get remade. Lauren says, why do they not make the wastegapes anymore? It's not like they're expensive to produce, and it adds so much to the minifig, and I 100% agree with you, and I'm sure LEGO has their reason why they believe that they shouldn't be making wastegapes, and if I were to guess, it probably has something to do with money and cutting the costs. But at the end of the day, I think the wastegapes, especially on Clone Troopers, make them look so much better versus the printed ones. I think just look really bad. At that point, I'd rather just not have the printing on them at all, and I do think that it's something that they might bring back in the future. Now, they still do make wastegapes for other themes, that's something that they've been still doing even after clones lost their wastegapes, and they still make normal capes and custom pauldrons and stuff like that. So it has nothing to do with the material. I think it just has to do with LEGO is trying to cut costs, or trying something new, and they don't want to go back on it so soon. So I think that we're probably stuck with printed wastegapes for at least another couple of years, but or honestly, maybe it could be changed. I know that there was kind of that rumor going around that wastegapes were going to be brought back, but that seems to be one that was made in void, one that's not really true in any way, just something that someone said to, try and get stuff stirring around in the community. As much as I would love for it to be true, I am one of the biggest wastecape supporters and the biggest printed wastecape hater. I think when it comes to the current state of clones, I could care less about the helmet holes, but I do care about the printed wastegapes, and I think that would all be solved if the cloth wastegapes came back, but it really isn't looking likely as of right now. Yes, I am. Ask, what are the chances that we see some Geonosian Warrior minifigs? And I actually think that it is pretty likely, especially when the anniversary for Attack of the Clones comes around. I think, what is that, 2027? I think that was 2002. Yeah, so 2027 will be the 25th anniversary, or even if we have to wait for the 30th anniversary. But I do feel like the next time that we get a wave of sets for Episode 2, we're going to see some Geonosian Warriors, or if LEGO does want to revisit the Clone Wars, I think there's still a ton of possibilities for sets based on Geonosis. I think there's a lot of cool things that happen, and all of them would be prime times for us to get a new Geonosian Warrior. I forget how long it's been. I think was the last one in the Geonosian canon, I think. I might be mistaken there, so correct me if I'm wrong. Well, I guess Poggle the Lesser also came out. I guess he's not a warrior, though. He's a named character. But overall, I do think that we will be seeing one in the future. I think it's just a matter of time, and I am interested to see if they do the same thing for the wings. I know that the wing pieces were kind of weird regarding how LEGO does their stuff, and with how they're kind of taking stuff away and adding new stuff in, I'm curious to see if the wings stay the same or if they just get rid of them altogether or make a new updated version, but I would definitely be very happy to see the Geonosian Warriors come back at some point for LEGO. Brickboy301 asks, what do I do to prevent cracks in my figs? And to be honest, there's not really much that you can do. Like, I mean, I guess the surefire way to do so is to keep them unassembled in a plastic bag, but even then there's a chance that they crack. But what I do, you know, when I'm displaying stuff, like I have my Star Wars Rebels collection up here and I have them in a display case and they're all standing on this piece right here. It's like called a tile with a divider. I'm not sure what the actual name is, so if you know, let me know down below. And if you are gonna buy it, get it on Bricklink. Don't buy it from eBay or whatnot, because people will charge you like $1 per one of these when you can get them on Bricklink for like a couple of cents. So don't fall for that scam. They're very cheap to get on Bricklink and they work really well. You know, you just put your minifigure on just like that and then they stay on pretty well, and it's a lot safer than having them on the studs in regards to cracks. But at the end of the day, you're not going to 100% be able to prevent cracks from happening, and a lot of the time it's not even because they're standing on the studs. I feel like it's just kind of random. Yes, having them on the studs makes them more prone to cracking, but at the end of the day, I think, you know, for the most part, LEGO is meant to be played with, so if it cracks, it cracks. I don't think it's too big of a deal. Yes, there are like special cases for me with like some of the rare minifigures that I don't want to crack, but for the most part, I think you should be okay. I don't think that they're just going to be cracking willy-nilly on the studs. Claudia asked, what is the May 4th promo for 2025? And I did actually just make a full video talking about that, so if you want a detailed breakdown, I'll leave a link for it down below in the description, but I'll give you the quick rundown. First, at $40 is going to be some sort of polybag based on Revenge of the Sith, and it's my guess was it was going to be some sort of ARC 170. Then if you spend $90, you get some sort of charm based on like the coins that we got last year or some sort of patch and stuff like that. And then the big one, if you spend $160, you get the little build with, it's going to be coming with 3 minifigures. I did a lot of speculation based on what that could be, you know, looking at different rumors and stuff like that and breaking them down. So if you want the full breakdown, I'll leave a link to that video in the description. I thought it was pretty fun and I'm very excited to see what ends up being the May 4th promo. Mr. Vanderlyn says, do I think that we will ever get the Season 3 Bad Batch sets? And this is a question that has been highly asked by a lot of people, and me included. Unfortunately, the more and more I get asked this question, and the more and more I think about it, the less and less hope I have to see Bad Batch Season 3 sets. Now, very disappointing. I think Bad Batch Season 3 was great, and there are a ton of different options. The TK Troopers, the Commandos, some of the different characters that we saw, as well as some of the really cool ships that we saw. However, it's just not looking likely. It's been so long. Yes, it is possible that LEGO does a one-off Bad Batch Season 3 set in the coming years, but right now, 2025, all of the set spots have already kind of been leaked and rumored, so there's no room for it in 2025. And 2026, we're going to be leading more towards some of the original trilogy sets, it looks like, just from how some of the leaks and rumors are shaping up. I'm not sure if that's something that I've talked about yet, but I will have a video on that coming out soon. But it really just looks like Bad Batch Season 3 might have been left in the dust by LEGO, which is very unfortunate, but I still have hope that we might see something in the future. ARC Troopers asks, when do I think that LEGO will start making Phase 1 clones again? And once again, I think this is something that's only a matter of time. I think, you know, Phase 1 clone troopers might be arguably more iconic than the Phase 2 clone troopers. So I think that right now, the only reason that we're getting so many Phase 2 clone troopers is just because of the anniversary of Revenge of the Sith, and some of the recent Star Wars media that we have does revolve around the Phase 2 clone troopers. So I think that's why we are seeing them right now. And I think once the anniversary for the Attack of the Clones comes back, we are going to be getting our Phase 1 clone troopers back. So I guess in a couple of years, I feel like next year though, we'll definitely see some Phase 1s here or there. Now I think LEGO definitely, maybe not. Recently they're definitely favoring the Phase 2, but in the past I feel like Phase 1 have definitely had the edge over Phase 2, especially, you know, in the Clone Wars and stuff like that. So I think we will be revisiting that soon. I think it is all kind of like a cycle though. You get a bunch of Phase 1s and then LEGO cycles over to getting Phase 2s, and then you cycle back to the Phase 1s, and it goes on and on. So I think it is only a matter of time, and I can't wait because I love the Phase 1 clone troopers. Joshua says that they should make a new Kashyyyk set and firefighter droids, and I do think that there will be Kashyyyk sets coming pretty soon. I know there's another question coming up, so I'm going to hold off to talk about that until then, but as for the firefighter droids, I think that would be so cool. I don't remember what it's called, but I remember there was this action figure that I got as a kid of the firefighter droid, and I love that thing, so I would love to see a minifigure adaptation with, I think just the design would be so cool, with like the black color scheme and then the yellow line and the red on the head. I think it would be really cool, and I think LEGO could do that, and it would be a great variant to the droid. Now, I'm not sure what set that could go in per se, but I'm sure LEGO could figure something out, and I would love to see this, and I think it would add some much needed diversity when it comes to the droids that we've been getting from LEGO. Asks, will I watch Revenge of the Sith on April 25th? And yes, I will. I'm already kind of making plans with some friends to make sure that we all end up going. Sometimes it's hard to make plans in advance, but I will definitely be going. My goal is to, at some point see all of the major Star Wars movies in theaters. I think most of the ones, came out before I was born. Even Revenge of the Sith, the last of the prequels came out the year before I was born by a couple of months. So, unfortunate there that I wasn't able to see them. But now with all of the reruns coming out, I am hoping that I can get all of them. I already saw Return of the Jedi back on its anniversary, and I saw all of the sequel movies, and I also saw the Clone Wars movie when I was like a child. I think I was like 3 or 4 years old in 2008 when that came out, so don't really remember much of it, but I did see it. But hopefully all of the other prequel movies and the rest of the original trilogy do make their rerun in theaters, and I cannot wait to see Revenge of the Sith on the big screen. Alice asks, do I think that Chrome Hilts would come back with an updated version of Dooku, or just Chrome pieces in general? And as the #1 self-proclaimed Dooku enthusiast when it comes to LEGO, I would have to say that the Chrome lightsaber hilt on Dooku is one of the big things about the minifigure that makes me like it so much. I feel like when I think of that minifigure, the Chrome hilt is one of the first things that come to mind, and I feel like he would lose some of his identity if they lost or took away that hilt. Yes, the curve is also a big part of it, but the Chrome just kind of ties it all together and makes it a great minifigure. However, I think if we did get a new version of Dooku, the Chrome hilt would be nowhere to be found. Now, LEGO kind of started phasing out Chrome a while ago, and now it is completely gone from sets. It appears here and there sometimes, but we'll talk about that in just a little bit. Now, the reason that they got rid of it is because of the tarnish and the fade. It wasn't really something that was had much longevity to it. However, this comes from LEGO that made the reddish brown that kind of shatters when you look at it the wrong way, so I don't really know where that was coming from. Yes, they did eventually fix that, so it does make sense there, but I think Chrome is just super cool. Now, I will say it doesn't necessarily hold up great. I have a bunch of different Chrome hilts, and I think only 2 of them are actually badly tarnished or ripped apart, not ripped apart, but that has scraped off or anything like that. All the other ones are still in pretty good condition, and I use them very often in mocks and putting them in minifigures' hands and playing with them. So I think they hold up pretty well. Now, LEGO also still makes Chrome, however, they only do it for keychains. However, this doesn't make sense to me because I think arguably a keychain gets more wear than minifigures and bricks. Keychains, people put them on their backpacks, on their keys and stuff like that, and they take them with them everywhere all day. So they're swinging around, they're brushing up against clothing, people are touching them, getting your hands on them, and I feel like that would make them, a lot more wear and a lot more tarnished than if it was just a piece on a LEGO set that most people, for most of the time will sit on a shelf and then, get played with occasionally, or for a minifigure hilt that, I guess gets played with a little bit more, and going in and out of the hand definitely does chip off some of that paint sometimes. But I do think that it's something that they should look into bringing back. I think there's definitely a workaround for it. LEGO just has to figure it out, and I have no doubt that it would sell. It could be the most boring set ever, but if you make it Chrome, people are going to buy it because there's a lot of people out there that love Chrome. I know it's not for everyone, but I think there's a fair amount of people that Chrome, would definitely sell a set for them, and I would love to see LEGO bring it back. And if they make a new Count Dooku, I would love to see him with a Chrome hilt. However, it's just not looking likely as of right now. Hippie asks, do I think that LEGO will make a Boba Fett with a Rancor like in The Mandalorian? And I looked this up because, to be honest, I only watched the first season of The Mandalorian. I'm going to watch all of the other ones, and I'm going to rewatch the first one at some point. I'm just waiting for the right time. But I looked it up, and then I saw Boba riding a Rancor, and I don't know, I just thought it was very cool. And now I really want to see this made from LEGO. Now, I don't know if they would make a set I don't really know the story behind it just because, I haven't watched it yet. But I think the perfect way to make this a set would be kind of like a microfighter. In a way, I think you could do a build for the Rancor and then get your Boba Fett minifigure to ride atop it or, go alongside it. And I think that would be really cool. And I think a brick built Rancor would be super cool to see. I don't know if we would see, the big fig of the Rancor again. I feel like for some reason LEGO would go brick built the next time that we do see a Rancor, and I think we're well overdue. I think a Rancor goes for $90. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure because I haven't seen one sell for a while, but I remember seeing one listed for $90. It doesn't mean that that's what it actually goes for. But I do think that it would be very cool to see this. I think it's very cool, and I do think to see a Rancor just come back would be nice. I think it's been way too long since the last one, and I also would like to see a brick built version. So I think this is definitely an option for LEGO. However, I'm not sure if it's something that they would end up doing. Antonio asks, am I a fan or do I dislike the microfighters? I like them because they're accessible and have cool minifigures. Now, I 100% agree with you. I think one of the biggest draws to microfighters is that they offer a minifigure that would otherwise be locked behind a more expensive set for a pretty cheap price. Like looking at the Plo Koon microfighter that's coming out, I'm kind of happy that it is cheap because it's going to make Plo Koon, who I think is a very cool character, very readily accessible to the fans who want him. So I think that is great. But the other reason why I really like microfighters is there's a lot of ships out there that I think are very, very cool. However, they take up so much space in either their UCS or playset form. So when I can get a microfighter, I can display the ships that I like and it doesn't take up a ton of room. Like for the Ghost over there, well, I guess that's not a microfighter, that's the Comic-Con set, but I don't have a lot of microfighters right now just because I've been looking to get some good deals. I did just get another ARC 170 microfighter though. That's one of my favorites. I think the Ghost microfighter is also very cool. The Vulture droid is also an underrated one, but I am a big fan of the microfighters and I think that they are a bit underrated. And I'm excited to see some of the new ones that are going to be coming out. Preston asks, do I think that we'll get any Kashyyyk sets in the next couple of years, such as a turbo tank or an AT-AP, etc.? And I think that we definitely will. I think Kashyyyk is definitely like a hot area for LEGO to make sets. We've gotten so many sets based off Kashyyyk in the past, and I think it's also a fan favorite. Unfortunately, it looks like we're not getting any this year, but I think it's definitely something that will be revisited in the future, especially if we get an updated version of the turbo tank. I feel like it will be based off of that appearance on Kashyyyk that we got, or some of the other sets like that, or even I think just a playset of Kashyyyk would be really cool. Getting your Wookiees, your clones, and then your droids. Maybe a new version of the snail droid would be very cool, or like a tree build. Something like that would be sick, and I have no doubt that we will be seeing sets based off of Kashyyyk in the coming years. Demitai asking the golden question, when will we get a Phase 2 Wollfe? And as a huge fan of Commander Wollfe, I really hope that it's going to be soon. However, I mean, we did have that little bit of hope when the Plo Koon Starfighter was originally rumored going around, and it was rumored to have that third minifigure that a lot of people thought was going to be a Phase 2 Wollfe. However, that ended up being a microfighter. However, I still have hope to see a Commander Wollfe in the future in Phase 2. I think it's just such an iconic character when it comes to LEGO and Star Wars, and so many people have been asking for a Phase 2 version for so long now, so I think it's only a matter of time. I do think all of the clone troopers that we saw from the LEGO Star Wars game, we will see in LEGO. I think there's only one or two still remaining, being Wollfe and Gree, if I'm not mistaken, but I do think that we will be seeing them, and I think it will be very similar to what we saw in that game, and I think that we will be seeing it in probably like 2-3 years, not this year and probably not next year, but I feel like after that there's definitely some open areas. Now, I don't know what set it would be in. I feel like it would be cool to get a Wolfpack gunship or something like that, or even a new version of the Republic frigate would be really cool, and kind of, you know, being a tie back to when we got the Phase 1 Commander Wollfe and the Republic frigate. I think that is a set that's overdue for a remake, and it would be the perfect time to get them, but I think there's a ton of different options for how we could get them. I think it's only a matter of time, and I cannot wait because I love Commander Wollfe. That is going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And if you have any questions that you'd like me to answer in the next episode, leave them down below in the comment section of this video, and I'll try my best to get to them in the next episode. Thank you to everyone who asked a question, and thank you for everyone for watching this video. Stay safe. Drew, signing out.